All right, CHR Postgame show. Justin Lynch, Lee Grossman, Tassos Kirkos on a lagging Zoom. But these two are on camera, so they'll look clean and fresh as always. Hawks lose 4-3 to the Edmonton Oilers. Wash, rinse, repeat. Well, not really the same as last night, but a different hockey game. But thanks to everybody that joined in for the live stream tonight. That was a fun way to spend our Saturday. Hope you enjoyed your Saturday with us too. If you decided to hang out with us, that was fun. Justin, last night in studio before you head back to Ohio for the last semester. But,
feels bad, man.
Yeah. Sorry the Hawks couldn't give you a better performance than that.
Yeah, that'll be a nice, fun drive back tomorrow. But no, that's the way it goes. That was still a fun game, right? 4-3. I mean, I think put on a respectable performance against just a team that's just far better than us. I think we could all agree. Back to back for the Hawks too. It's tricky. Got off to a good start though, right? It sucks when you blow two goal leads, right? Definitely a game the Hawks could have come away with, but lose and get edged in close fashion. We've seen a lot of games like that this season, so nothing really new there. Too bad, but I think better effort than yesterday, at least, if we can come away with that. So, but yeah, definitely a tough one.
Yeah, absolutely. Connor Bedard's point streak, unfortunately, comes to an end.
I feel that's devastating.
But with death comes life, and we now have an Alec Martinez one-game point streak.
First game back in the lineup, yeah.
So good for Alec Martinez to maybe go on a run here. No, I'm just kidding.
Really?
That does suck for Bedsy, man. I mean, he was one game away from tying Jonathan Toews for the longest point streak for a teenager Blackhawks history, and he would have done that point number 100 as well. So it's too bad he wasn't able to make that happen. Wasn't a bad game for him. I definitely would say it was his best, but maybe he was due for a shutdown game, right? So on the bright side, though, I think that second line, that Turbo Foligno line, Dickey, they had two of our goals. I thought there was a pretty nice line there. So I definitely think the top line for the Hawks today. I know the Donato fourth line got up and going there. I was disappointed in the kid line, right? I thought we'd see more of that Doc Reichel line, the Nazar, Frank the Tank.
They just weren't able to get anything going.
Yeah, no, they just spent the whole game hemmed in on the D zone there. So yeah, that line didn't really work out, but I'd still give it a few games. I wouldn't give up on after one, bad game. That would be something Luke Richardson would do. So hopefully Sorensen doesn't, because I think Reichel, if he's going to get going, we can't have him in the fourth line forever, right? So keeping the lineup right, Kurashev, we don't need to see him here anytime soon. I would think I would send it down to waive him. I think Kurashev's time as a Hawk, I don't want to see him back in this lineup. I think he's done. So, but yeah, that's a different topic.
Yeah, no, I don't think that they should switch that kid line because I know it was bad tonight and they were stuck in their zone the whole time. But did they get scored on even? No, they weren't. None of them are minuses. So I would stick with that and continue that for another game or two. So hopefully they can turn it around. They're playing Calgary next, so I think they could have some success against a team like that. It would be frustrating for him to mix it up just because it didn't work one night against what is going to be a Stanley Cup contending team. But I mean, we got outshot 34-22.
Yeah, it's the third game in a row we've been outshot by a ton. 36-20 against the Avs. I think it was 28-15 last night and 34-22 tonight. Most of those shots were a lot of those shots were late too, and we had that power play with about a minute left and the goalie pulled. I mean, that's just not going to get the job done, right? We've been way outchanced, outpossessed, outshot the last few games, and just not going to win a lot of games like that. But playing against better teams, it's going to happen. I think Soderblom had a good game. Gave us a shot. I think if Peter's in net, this is probably a blowout game. So I think Soderblom probably made this game look a lot closer than it was. That as well. So props to him there. Again, his better season continues. So we'll see if they stick with him for Calgary or go back to Peter. I think that game's at home, right?
Yeah.
That's tough too. The Hawks have been a better team at home, so I had some hope that maybe they could upset the Oil today. And for points, this game looked like they did. I think they had a really strong first period of play, but second period's been a bit of an issue for this team. It was a big problem last night against the Red Wings. I wouldn't say that second period was as bad, but it was still pretty brutal. They had a 2-0 lead and a 3-1 lead at this point. Consecutive multi-goal leads blown, so that is disappointing to say the least.
Yeah, Battle of the Connors tonight.
McDavid didn't have a point either.
Surprisingly enough, both of them went pointless, and both were -2s on the night.
Yeah, so all the Brock favorite Minnesota Wild fans will be, all over that stat. But yeah, I think McDavid had a 10-game point streak going against the Hawks, so that's over. So not the only point streak that was ended today. Both the Connors, I guess the lights were too bright in this matchup for both of them. So but Draisaitl, I think he had an assist in there. He's a Hawks killer. I swear every time he plays us, he does something. But a lot of the production for the Oilers though is kind of from bottom six guys. Same deal with the Hawks. It wasn't really the stars showing out today. Of course, Corey Perry got a goal. For our Blackhawks always own us. You know that's going to happen. It always does. Happened last night as well. Kane and Cat, obviously. So, nothing new there.
So, I mean, so I know you guys were saying that like the Hawks were outplayed the whole game.
Yeah,
really weren't actually for the first 30
period.
minutes of the game. Like even the first half,
period was good.
At one point in the second, like I said this on the stream, but at one point in the second period, the Hawks were up through 14-12 in shots, and then proceeded to get outshot. Like what is that, 24 to or 22 to freaking 8 the rest of the way, like that.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
The third period was when they were on their heels a lot, and for the first 14 minutes of that period didn't even touch the puck. It felt like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard for this team to stay consistent throughout the whole game. I mean, I know we had some things to say about those 60-minute efforts and what that really means, but again, it's hard for the Hawks team to really play, consistently the same way for 60 minutes. The team's just not good enough, right? We've figured that out at this point. I'm sure they'll have more talks about their identity and stuff for why they lost this game, but it's just not a good hockey club, right? And we saw that, but at least they hung in there with the Oilers, right? They do play better against the better teams, and all things considered, I think it was some positive things to take away from this game from that standpoint. At least they made it interesting. It was a blowout. I think some of us going into this game maybe a little worried about that, yesterday, but it wasn't. So at least it was close and interesting. And from that standpoint, there's positives to take away.
Chat's asking about CHR going to games this week. We're not.
No. Go Monday. No.
Y'all seem to have a difference of opinion there, but
I don't know. Wouldn't you rather stream one than go to one? I don't know.
Yeah, I would rather stream one than go to one.
Yeah, so maybe a stream this week. But Justin's, as he said, he's leaving back to school tomorrow.
We can get tickets for $14 though to go to the Hawks game on Monday.
Yeah, I mean, is that really still that cheap?
Yeah, 14.
Damn. Well, that's one positive thing about last place team, right? Tickets dropping. So, yeah. I mean, I could have gone. I went to a few games during this break. I think there were 1 and 4 the games I went, something like that. So I was a bad luck charm. I could have gone to more this week. I'm like, I'm Blackhawked out, so I'm just gonna watch from home and do more streams. I think that worked out fine. So I think we'll go to some more games during the breaks. We'll have a few in there. So long weekends. But anyway, we move.
Should we do some Seth Jones talk?
He was brutal tonight, man. I mean, I think he was responsible for at least a couple of those goals. Just a turnover machine, and I think just since coming back from injury, just hasn't been the same player for whatever reason. I don't know what it is, but
he had a good game in that Avs game. But yeah, tonight the turnovers and just weak defensively. It felt like guys were able to kind of work him in different areas of the ice. So yeah, not a strong game from Seth. I know I'm a Seth Jones apologist, but. You're not going to hear me.
Even you can't apologize for him these days. Yeah, no, his play has not been. It's left a lot to be desired for sure. But he's not the only player in that defense you could say that for.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys want to maybe do some positives?
Yeah,
sure.
I thought Alex Vlasic had a
much
good game.
Better.
I thought he had a really strong game.
Much better than the Wings game. He was kind of brutal in that one, but he definitely made up for it today.
Yeah, I felt like he was not shutting. I mean, yeah, he was kind of shutting down Connor McDavid a little bit. I feel like he was having trouble trying to skate by him, and he was being physical when he needed to. I thought Crevier had a good game as well. I liked the little shot he had at the end of the second period.
When
and Perry didn't like it and got in his mug.
Yeah, well, he can go have a nice evening.
Yeah. Through that.
I thought Soderblom was good too.
He gave us a chance.
Yeah, definitely. I know it's like, you're going to say he gave up 4. It's not really the best night for a goalie.
34 shots. I mean, against Edmonton Oilers. It's not bad.
Also, it's not like he could really do anything about
those goals weren't his fault.
Any of the goals.
Toward the end of the game,
defensive breakdowns.
Toward the end of the game, when they flashed the scoring chances and it was 25-12, I would wonder how many of those were grade A scoring opportunities. I bet at least a dozen of them were grade A's.
Yeah, they had a lot of good opportunities. There was that one span of time. Was it the end of the second? Where it literally felt like they had 7 shots on goal in the one shift.
They were on a power play. I don't even think they were on a power play. They only had one of their goals was a power play goal. The Hawks, by the way, they almost went the entire game without a power play. That would have been the second game in a row that happened, but they did get one late, but it was with 50 seconds left. So it's a little too late there.
Which sucks
nice
because it did kind of look like they
were starting to generate chances
good.
there. I thought they might tie it up there, but didn't quite happen.
I think it was also helped that it was a 6-on-4 and not a 5-on-4.
Yeah, that's true. It's basically a 5-on-3 from that standpoint. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what else.
Yeah, what do we want to dissect and break down here? This is great podcasting from your boys over at CH.
You guys want to do? Did you almost call us something else?
Yeah.
I'm glad I cut you off.
Your boys over at CHGR here.
CHGR.
In our defense, we just finished up a 2.5 hour live stream of this game, so we've definitely had playtime the yep during that. So if you didn't, you could still watch that and check us make.
We did crypto talk. We did.
We talked about Shrek. We got a lot of pop culture references in there.
Shrek talk. We had
foot talk.
Talked about tattoos.
Tattoo talk.
Yeah, so if you want to hear that, and you could go watch that.
Yeah,
that was fun.
That was fun.
Yeah, live streams have been fun. It's been fun being here. It sucks that I'm gonna have to get used to doing these sessions on Zoom over there in Ohio again. So, but we'll be fine.
We'll make it work.
We'll make it work.
2.9. Oh, let's talk about Taylor Hall and Ryan Donato. I think they had a
good games.
They had a pretty good game, and good for both of them to get on the score sheet because I think those are guys that are we're most likely going to be trading come deadline time here in February. So good, I think we all want to see them doing as well as possible until then to
increase that fourth to a third to a second. Package them for a first, like Tassos would say. So that checks out. Again, if you can't get too much for them, I'm okay with keeping them as well. Whatever works. I'm sure KD will be working the phones in March for sure.
I just want everyone to have fun. Teuvo Teravainen, 2-point night, goal and assist.
Consecutive 2-point games for him. He's had a very streaky season, man. I think he's up to 30 points in however many games it's been now. 44 sounds about right. 43. So I think it's about a good season, about 50-ish, 60-point pace for him. Probably what you expect out of him. And he hasn't always been the top line at beds either. A lot of these games he's been second, third line. I mean, he was on the shutdown line, the so-called shutdown line. Leon Dickinson, they were our top offensive, producing line. Oftentimes matched up against McDavid. So that was pretty nice, pretty impressive. But it's funny, when you look at this game, right, for the Oilers, and you have one combined point from McDavid Draisaitl, you would expect that to be a Hawks win. So I was pretty surprised if that's standpoint.
Draisaitl had two apples.
He did?
Yeah.
Okay.
But McDavid, on the contrary, was a -2.
And he didn't even have a point. So, you would expect that to be a Hawks dub, but it does show something for the Oilers. Their depth has come a long way. It used to be like, McDavid, Draisaitl, Merchants, right? But, they could still win games even when they're not really on their 8 games necessarily. So, that's good for them, and that'd probably be a good thing for them come playoff time as well. I think definitely got to be one of the favorites for sure.
Yeah.
What do you guys think the Oilers need to be... to push them over the edge, or you think once this team gets into the playoffs, they'll just turn it on? The
goaltending's still a little sus. I know Skinner has his moments, but he's just so inconsistent. I don't really trust him. Picker was a neptite for the Oilers, which is another reason for the Hawks. I looked at maybe they could upset this game, and it looked like that at the start, but unfortunately they couldn't keep her going. It did pepper enough shots once again, but Skinner, I don't know. I just don't know if I trust him. I feel like maybe that's one area of weakness potentially.
Yeah, maybe goaltending, maybe get Peter Mrazek off our hands.
Yeah, there you go. That'll solve our problem, right?
Too. But then I think an extra defenseman and then another depth piece probably. Yeah. I'm not super moved by their bottom 6. I know they played well tonight, but you're not going to be playing the Chicago Blackhawks in the first round. Actually, they're probably going to be playing the LA Kings in the first round, so I guess it doesn't matter.
I wonder what's going to happen there.
Yeah.
Their first time they played, it was 7 games, then it was 6 games, then it was 5 games. They're probably going to sweep them this year if they play them, if that trend continues.
Well, the Kings are better this year.
Yeah, well, they say that every year.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
They definitely got to get another defenseman in there, in my opinion. Yeah. It's a lot of I know Ty Emberson had a point tonight. But
the bottom pair is a little sus, right?
Troy Stetcher.
You got Bouchard, you got Ekholm, Nurse, and then there's a bit of a drop off there. So maybe another D-man that, top 4 bottom pair.
I was kind of hoping we'd get a comical Evan Bouchard play.
He was actually good defensively. I was slandering him on the show, and he actually had a good game from that standpoint. Yeah, so that's how that works out, right?
He clamped up Frank Nazar on that one opportunity right after you were slandering his name. So.
I called some of these blown leads to him, I feel like the Hawks got to get the next goal, and the Oilers had a few. So we were definitely not doing a very good job at the Jinx game on the live show.
It really did feel like you were trying to manifest goals for the Edmonton Oilers.
I was hoping to be a.
You're Connor McDavid hasn't scored yet. That's really weird.
Well, I didn't jinx that one. I was right about that one, and he didn't. To be fair.
To be fair.
Trick account every time we say that in that show. But,
to be fair.
Hawks still last year. I think if they won this game, they would have come out of it. So for the tank, it's not bad, but unfortunately, it's not a Hawks lose Bedard point game. So that's kind of the worst case scenario there.
I guess Chief was right about him all along.
So pretty clear would have been better for this team, right?
Yeah.
Bunch of utter woke nonsense there.
I want Chief to come on the show so bad.
Yeah,
I think
you
that'd
would
be a
have
fun-
something to say. I
So you
think
guys- so
that'd
you
be a
can
fun
fist
back
fight
and
him
forth.
live
So we
on
could
YouTube?
fight. No, I would not. I wouldn't fight Chief. I like Chief a lot. I
Get
just
him in the
think
UFC ring.
I think he's absolutely tweaking about this. But yeah, I would love to have him on the show. He ignored my. He fucking replied to me like 3 times, and then I was like, "Well, I'd love to show you that I'm not a cult member, and I'm just a."
And then he
passionate
backs
Hawks
away.
fan."
Yeah,
Then he
all
didn't
talk,
re-
no action over there.
Didn't reply. It's like, damn, you're gonna big dog me, bro.
You're
All
gonna
right.
have to
I see
hit him
how
with
it
the
is.
DM on Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess the lights are too bright over there.
I will say another positive to Teravainen.
Yeah.
Just, up to another goal and an assist, up to 30 points now.
Yeah,
Bit of a streaky guy, but he seems like he's like on one of those streaks right now. So, that's
I
good
think
for the
that's
Hawks.
Good to see for sure. I wouldn't mind. I know I'm not only a big fan of jumbling up the lines, but like he did have a good connection going early in the season with Bedard. I wouldn't mind revisiting that. We haven't really seen him and Bedard with each other that much lately.
Yeah.
Maybe revisit that. Keep Bertuzzi up there. And yeah, maybe a Bertuzzi, Bedard, Tavo line. I know some people like Bakayev up there, but for me, it's like, I don't know. I just don't think that's really sustainable for the long run. I think Bakayev's a shutdown player. So I think that could be a good line. Bedsy, Bert, Tavo. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit of that.
Or maybe
So-
a vet on that line with the kids, because I mean, I think the Doc Nazar turbo line did have something going, but then they put Reichel. I like Reichel there. I think it has potential, but maybe there's something to be said about having 3 young players there. Maybe there's something to be said for that. Maybe you need somebody like a Tavo on that line.
Yeah, we'll see. Give it another game or two.
Yeah.
I am really worried that they're just going to completely scratch that just because it was not successful tonight.
Yeah.
But I hope for the sake of the future, they give that line another go together.
Also, I will say this. I don't understand. Kaiser was scratched tonight and over guys like, TJ Brody. And it's like he had another bad game. Shocker. I don't think he's been scratched once under Sorensen. So I'd love to know what the reasoning is for that, because every night with this guy, it's kind of gotten ridiculous at this point. I mean, you could every show, every game, it's the same deal with him. So I don't know what he needs to do to get scratched one of these games, but that's another topic.
I don't know, like kill someone probably.
The only thing I would say too about the kid line is just play him more.
Yeah.
They got the ice time of the 4th line. You got. I'm just looking at minutes here. Like Pat Maroon played more than all of Colton Dock, Lucas Reichel,
That's
Frank Nazar.
criminal.
Yeah, Pat Maroon almost
Oh
played
my.
13 minutes tonight.
Lucas
Pat Maroon got more minutes than Taylor Hall as well tonight.
Lucas
too.
Reichel. Okay, so he's fine. It's funny. I was really thrilled to see him. Finally off of the 4th line for the first time in seemingly months, and he played 7 minutes and 59 seconds, so 8 minutes tonight. That is absolutely asinine. Yeah, so basically the 4th line was the 3rd line, the 3rd line was the 4th line. I know the 4th line had a goal from Dial. I get it, but still, I mean,
I'm so excited to move on from some of these veterans just so that these
it's
guys
just taking up space.
just-
These aren't real Blackhawks.
just so that these guys have to play.
I want to see the real Blackhawks playing. We have a future here,
Absolutely.
not the veteran plugs.
if you
like
but
Pat Maroon.
if you move on from Maroon, Donato, and Hall, you have to play Reichel 14 minutes a night.
The way that the lack of ice time that he's gotten this season, he's played well. I'll never understand it. I don't understand it. I thought Nazar played. I know he didn't have a point today, but I thought he had a good game going too. I thought he deserved more ice time, but only 11 minutes for Nazar. So there you go. Explain that one to me.
He had that shift late in the 3rd where I forgot who he was working the puck off of along the boards, but it's
working.
just
Thought something was coming there.
yeah.
Yeah, felt like it.
I mean,
Felt like we were knocking on the door there.
this is a team that like below the dots doesn't really dig a lot.
Yeah.
Reichel sometimes makes it look like he's digging for pucks, but he's not
But
really.
he's not.
Like,
Yeah,
it's
he doesn't
not.
really have that.
It's
That's
like
that
a
frame.
fake.
Yeah,
It's like a fake. Hey, I'm forechecking. Look at me.
it's just
I'm
not his game. That's
no.
not his.
No.
Like that's like a Colton Docks game. That's not Lucas Reichel's.
Yeah. And I thought Doc was all right too. I mean,
Yeah,
the
9
thing
minutes.
about Doc is like, yeah, exactly. There's
come
not
on,
enough
yeah.
time for me to be like, oh, Colton Doc played a really good hockey
Yeah.
game. It was like, oh no, he
You're not
was
seeing
there.
him
and
enough. Yeah.
He didn't make a brutal mistake,
Yeah.
right? And I guess that's like kind of the
Exactly, and it's like, they were hemmed in their zone for like the time they were out there a lot, but it's like they weren't making poor decisions. Like
And
they were
weren't
being
scoring when they were out there.
Yeah, no, they were one of the few guys that weren't minuses. Like I don't know, they thought they were like responsible at least. So I don't know. It's like maybe if they got scored on really early, then you play them less. You're a little more conservative, but it's like, come on, like, what are we doing? We're last in the NHL, and we're like, oh no,
play
it's
the kids.
not.
That's
like,
what we keep yapping about.
Like, why are you playing these kids for fucking 7 minutes a night?
Yeah, I mean, besides Bedard, who's obviously we need to explain that. Like, I feel like a lot of these kids don't get the ice time they should get, which is frustrating.
Okay. It's gonna come. It's gonna happen.
It's gonna be a different roster, a much different roster in March than it is now. So it's gonna be a different situation post trade deadline. We just gotta get there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And next season too is gonna be pretty much the entire mantra. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I am looking up. The trade deadline is March 7th. So,
So we're still a ways away. About
just
what,
under-
7 weeks?
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, that's not that far away. It's gonna be here before you know it. And
Can't come soon enough.
And these days, like a lot of these trades happen like well before trade deadline too, right? So I think even before them, we're going to have a vastly different roster. So that'll be nice as well. Yeah.
Yep.
More young kids on the horizon too, right? Like a lot of these kids are going to be signing after the college season's up, and that'll be fun.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Anything else, boys?
I'm trying to think here. Yeah, you know what? I just I thought that the Hawks actually came to life at the 6-on-4 at the end. Should mention that was the first power play that the Hawks had gotten since the second period of the Colorado Avalanche game. And I said this on the stream too. You don't go, what is that? Almost 120 minutes of hockey.
Yeah.
If you go all the way 139 minutes of hockey, you don't go without a penalty infraction happening against you. It just means you went 139 minutes with the refs not calling any of those penalty infractions again. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
there's some plays I felt like could have been calls in this game before that we didn't get, that the Oil did get. Again, not blame them. They only had one power play, so they kept the whistles away.
I don't think there were too many tonight, though.
Yeah, maybe more in the Wings game. We hardly had the puck that game, though. But yeah, I mean, that tends to happen when you're not shooting the puck very often. You're clearly not possessing the puck very often. You're not getting much chances, so you're not going to get much penalties because you're not getting penalties tend to happen with the team that has the puck. Funny enough, yeah.
Yeah, I just think sometimes the calls go their way, but I always think like a game when there's no calls on either side. Like I think those are hilarious. It's like, why did you even have the refs there?
Yeah.
Like there clearly were penalties. You know, like call them.
Yes, right? It's funny because I feel like I'm being a little hypocritical here because I don't really love the increase of power plays these days because sometimes it feels a bit manufactured, trying to create more goals and stuff. I know the NHL loves that. So then for me to complain about it when there aren't calls seems
I have no problem with them letting the boys play. To be honest with you,
yeah,
this isn't going to be something you're going to
you can't put. There's no asterisk when there's not much calls, right?
Yeah.
You can't blame the refs for, I mean, maybe they didn't call something that should have been called, but that's another thing.
Well, you can blame the refs.
People always blame the refs.
Yeah, but tonight was not. I
today was not a ref.
I can't remember a single play where it was like that definitely should have been a call.
There's could-haves, there's should-haves.
I don't think there was a single one.
Yeah, no, it's not. Yeah.
I will say too, like we don't do a lot of ref talk on this show.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, we try not to.
We don't ever really. We don't come on here.
There are
like
other fan bases.
I think we would do more ref talk if we were like
contenders.
Yeah, if we actually had something to play for, and it's like you lose a game, you really feel like you got screwed by a ref. Then we do more ref talk.
When you're a rebuilding team, you're really mind getting screwed by the refs because in a way you're helping us out. You're helping us get those better draft odds, so it's not really a bad thing.
That's
right?
like the caveat is that was a bad call. Thanks.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of ref talk amongst fan bases, the Oilers fan base tends to be one of the loudest when it comes to refs. If you guys have noticed that.
You're definitely right.
Yeah. Oilers fans love ref talk.
Oh, they love it. You should see
any
it.
Canadian market loves ref talk.
Yeah.
They love it.
Yeah,
Leafs fans, Habs fans, Canucks fans, they love ref
that
talk.
explains all the World Juniors mayhem there.
It does feel like every year there's conversations that are had on social media of like something needs to be addressed with this reffing problem, and it's like, dude, shut up.
Yeah, it feels like every year it's like they keep saying it gets worse, but is it really, or is it just like talk? Yeah.
Oh, Trevor in the chat did mention there was that tripping call at the end when they did have the power play that would have made it a 6-on-3.
Yeah.
If we're doing ref talk, that's probably
fair.
the one.
Yeah, that was pretty, and that happens a lot where it's like you can get away with something when you're already on the penalty kill. Sometimes they won't call that additional penalty if they've already called something. Like I drives me crazy.
Yeah,
when
because
it happens.
they're just not trying to change the game, but it's like if there's a penalty.
That was so blatant though,
Yep.
and the Hawks were cooking in the game. If you call that, I mean, again, it's always if, but they definitely could have tied that up and set that to overtime.
You know what? Yeah, never mind. The refs screwed us tonight. We
Yeah,
lost.
clearly the refs are the
Fucking
reason that
refs
we lost.
the game for
Yeah,
us.
no.
We should have had a 6-on-3. Thanks, Stripes.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
See, there we go. We did
This
get a
team is
little
bad
ref
enough. We
talking.
don't need them against us too, man. And we need all the help we can get. If anything, you should be gifting us power plays. I'm actually curious to see where the Hawks are ranked in terms of penalties drawn and penalties taken. That's something we'll look at for Monday's show because I think that's something interesting to talk about. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Other than that, I didn't really have a ton of, things from this game.
Yeah, we'll have time to tee up the Calgary game on Monday's show as well. But yeah, in regards to this game, I mean, 4-3. So I guess the Oilers, the defending Stanley Cup finalists, could be champions this year.
I don't know. Just that like back half of the second period and that third period made
Definitely
me
took a bit of the sting
completely
away.
forget about
Yeah.
the first period. Like
Yeah.
we did look good in the first period, but it's just like it felt like right when Edmonton started playing seriously, they just dominated.
And once they started coming back, it's like if we don't get the next goal here, we're screwed. Like it's like once they find their game, they're not going to lose it, right? It kind of felt inevitable that this wasn't really a safe game for the Hawks when they were leading.
Yeah.
And yeah, it is unfortunate that the Bedsy point streak is over, but it was going to end eventually. And let's start a new point streak, right? Let's have another 9-game point streak here, right? Yeah.
Yeah, geez, I can't find the most. I thought I had it here for a second. So, like, I almost brought this up earlier on the stream because I was trying to look up the Blackhawks record when scoring first before. We'd never got an answer on it, but I typed it into Google, and what came up was the Blackhawks record. You know how like now when you type things in on Google, you get the AI answer first. So the AI answer was like the Hawks are 14, 25, and 6 or whatever the Hawks record is. That's just their record. And so it pulls this. There's a website that's like StatMuse.
Oh, that's a good one.
StatMuse
It is a good one, but like it like sometimes so like I looked up like where do the Hawks rank in penalties drawn this season, and it said 19th, and it's like no, they're 19th in penalties taken. Which is not the same thing.
No.
So I just thought that was that's my gripe for the night.
It's funny. I said it on the show. It's like when we scored the first goal, I'm like, is that really a good thing? Because the Hawks, the record isn't as good as you think it would be after scoring the first goal. Actually, they had the second goal too, but it clearly didn't matter. But they do say the 2-goal lead is the most dangerous in hockey, and the Hawks had that twice and blew it both times. So that's the way it goes sometimes.
All right. Anything else from this game?
I don't really think I have much else. Tough loss, but some positives to take away, and hopefully against another Alberta team Monday, we can have a reverse outcome there.
Yeah, absolutely. I think maybe, not quite as good of a team. And I actually do think I really want to win the game against Calgary, so I don't have to get that tattoo so that they don't make the playoffs. So hopefully we get a better result on Monday.
No, I low key, I want the Hawks to win every game because it's good for the show here. I know I'm like the least, Blackhawks fan of this show, which is, I feel like a nice dynamic that needs to be added here.
Keep us in check.
I want the Flames to win, so that way Lee has to get his Calgary Flames tattoo.
I like that. Yeah, and they're in that playoff race right now, so. And we're over halfway through the season now, so it's not totally out of play.
Raven and I brought this up also. If and when the Calgary Flames make the playoffs, and you have to get a tattoo, I think I'm gonna try and hit up like a tattoo artist and see if we can do it like right here, or like on the coffee table, right in front of you guys.
Oh, we should get that on. We should do a YouTube
Like,
bonus video of that. That'd be
cool.
fantastic. Hell yeah.
That'd be
down
really
for
funny.
that.
Yes, sir. Man, Trevor's going off in the chat. Ooh.
Yeah, shout out my Ohio State Buckeyes too.
Ah, there you go.
Bucks.
Big win. No, if anybody hasn't noticed, I've been rotating a different Big Ten team hat over the
you're
course
Yeah,
of the
you
last
got to
week.
pick a lane there.
Yeah.
Mr. Bandwagoner over there.
I know. I had my Penn State hat on yesterday. I'll probably wear the Notre Dame one
We
on
should
Monday.
just get you a jacket that says sports.
Yeah.
I would
just
wear
hope both
that.
teams have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're that guy. You're like the soccer mom.
Yeah. All right. Winter Classic vlog is out. If you haven't watched it, go ahead and check it out. If you have watched it, go watch it again. Give it a thumbs up on that video. Raven really worked his tail off on that one. Helps us out a lot. What else do we have? I feel like there was something else I was going to say too. Oh, the contest. The CHR Wayne Gretzky's Basement shirt giveaway ends tomorrow night at 11:59 p.m. Central Time. So get your entries in. We've had a couple more people enter. It is very easy. All you have to do is be following us and Hawks Memes on Instagram, and tag 3 friends in the comments, and we're going to pick a winner Monday morning and probably DM you and announce it on the show on Monday too. So that will be cool. I promise our next giveaway will be cooler. We'll do Blackhawks tickets before the end of the season. And yeah, I think that'd be a fun one. And yeah, I don't know. Other than that, subscribe to this YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram at Chicago Hockey Radio. Follow us on Twitter if that is your thing.
X, yeah.
Lee's popping off over there.
I refuse to call it X.
All right, follow us on Twitter.
Mr. Yapper.
It's Twitter. It's Twitter. X, the everything app.
And go on. Don't just follow us on Twitter. Go to my my argument with Barstool Chief and like all my tweets to make me feel better about myself.
Yeah. And you could follow us on TikTok, but I think that stuff is coming down here in a couple of weeks.
It's not.
It's not?
No.
Hopefully the Supreme Court will save us.
I hope not. Our TikTok's been growing like at a crazy rate. You just like, TikTok's interesting. You just like post clips on it and, you know, you get like 7 followers.
Algorithm might get lucky with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Leave a 5-star rating and review on Spotify and Apple Podcasts if you're listening to this, or even if you're watching this. It means a lot to us, really. It really does. We're outpacing some pretty good hockey shows here in the likes department. So
that's right. We'll keep it going. We're not. It's only up from here. You know, we gotta.
Yeah.
If you ain't first, you're last, and we'll get there.
Cool. All right. We'll be back Monday. Show in the morning. Post game in the evening. Justin's going to be off on the post game on Monday. But yeah, we'll have you for the show. So
of course.
Not really a day off, but
yeah, no.
Yeah. Oh, go listen to our episode with Greg Boysen yesterday too.
Oh yeah,
That's
true.
awesome
It was an awesome
episode.
show.
Probably
Yeah.
our best
If you missed
work.
it, you got to listen to it.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's topical. Like it's all like big picture stuff. So
We did like a 90-minute Hawks hour with him.
We were just yapping with him. Still.
just yapping about the trade dedeline, the offseason free agents, draft,
Prospects.
everything you could think
Yep.
of. Yeah,
Absolutely.
We covered
My
everything.
favorite part was at the very end when we talked about like hockey in the city. Like I thought that was cool.
Yeah, a little close to
considering-
home, local.
We
I mean,
did-
we're on Chicago Hockey Radio, so like, feel
Yeah.
free to
We
talk
did.
about all things Chicago hockey.
We did do some city hockey talk.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it was cool. All right, that's it. We will see everybody Monday. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.